Hello and welcome back to the Codes of Connection. My name is Beth Osmer and I'm here with Michelle Lee today, and I'm very excited to sit with her because she and I are on sort of similar paths, and my community works very well with her community and vice versa, and she is a very wise, very intuitive woman. I'm going to read her biography first and then we will dive right in because she gets to have all of the accolades. Michelle Mary-Sophia Lee, we'll talk about the Mary-Sophia in a little bit, is the co-founder with her daughter Megan Camille of the Sophia Mystery School for Extraordinary People. She's a women's empowerment mentor and recently learned during an ayahuasca journey that she carries the Mary-Sophia Codex, which we'll talk about in a minute. She started on her soul's path of empowering women by helping them to reclaim their power in the birthing process 27 years ago. Michelle is a mystic, psychic, and a direct conduit of Mary-Sophia, Mother of Jesus. She deeply understands that for humanity to thrive, women must thrive first. Women working with Michelle have learned to access trust, follow their inner wisdom, and create the life that beats their soul. She is also the author of Fall in Love with Your Self-Hypnotic Journey MP3 and the creator of countless weekend workshops, including Mind Magic, Self-Love, How to Get There From Here, and most recently, her book, I love this, From Profit to Power, Your Guide to Claiming Your Worth. Her and her daughter Megan also host sacred medicine retreats and spiritual retreats around the globe to support humanity in their awakening of the truth of their divinity and power. I'm going to read this last line because it's going to be important for what we're going to be talking about today. They believe, she and her daughter, this is required for the healing of humanity and our mother Gaia.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I have chills. I got goosebumps when you read that last line. Thank you for doing it that way. Beautiful.
It's important. Yes. Well, welcome. So let's dive right in because we're going to be talking about connection. And that's why I wanted to read that last line because it talks all about connection. So can you share with us a little bit about your relationship with Mother Earth and Gaia and how important it is to, especially right now, for us to maintain our connection to ourselves and to the earth?
Mm. Well, in a nutshell, because we're one, right? We cannot destroy our mother planet, Mother Gaia, without destroying ourselves, and vice versa. The life is all around us. Mother Gaia is a living, breathing entity, and in our patriarchal world, we have been dishonoring women, and you cannot dishonor women without dishonoring the planet. When you have an honor and respect for women, you have an honor and respect for our mother nature, our planet, she which gives us everything we need to live here. It's just a requirement. I'm gonna say you're shooting yourself in the foot if you're not doing it. No, you're destroying yourself. If we destroy our mother, we destroy ourselves. Bottom line.
It's very true. And so what have you been seeing lately as far as, like you're saying, destroying the mother by destroying ourselves? Let's just get really real. And from your perspective, where are you seeing humanity go sideways in that destruction? And I'll do a follow-up question. That's, what are you and your daughter and yourself doing to support people on bringing them back home?
Yeah. Well, like we're here to talk about the disconnection, the separateness, and the illusion of being separate, which we came here to have, right? So I don't see humanity as going sideways in that way. I see that we have a multitude of timelines to choose from. And so we are choosing the timeline of connection, of wholeness, of harmony, of heaven on earth. by helping people awaken to their divinity. So that's our entire focus, is like aligning with the timeline of heaven on earth. So, and I know, and I feel very strongly that all the timelines are available and everyone gets to choose. And our focus with the Sophia Mystery School is on the heaven on earth timeline. And so we are speaking to the people who are ready to awaken to their divinity. We have found that the fastest awakenings, and I have been a metaphysical seeker and student since I was 16 years old. I'm now 53 years old. And Megan was born into it. And so she has been awake and aware in so many levels before so much deeper than I was. I mean, she confused me as a little girl. I was like, wow, I don't understand what you're saying, and in journeying with ayahuasca and journeying with other plant medicines, it's like, oh, I actually have experienced who I am with the studying and the reading and even the applying and applying to the best of our ability, is like the experience of plant medicine that our mother Gaia has placed here, that for our awakening, for our spiritual awakening. That was the most rapid, the fastest way to awaken. And I'm not saying I'm fully awakened, that's for sure, but from the moment I first did ayahuasca to this moment now, and I've sat with ayahuasca 9 times, I've sat with psilocybin, I don't know, 6 or 7 times, toad medicine, twice, it's just mind blowing. And these are all natural. These are plants that our ancestors, maybe our galactic families that have placed here, Mother Gaia has housed and supported for our awakening. Oh, that was a long answer. I hope I didn't bore everyone.
Are you kidding? It's fascinating. It's fascinating. Okay, so I have 2 questions. One, I want to talk about the timelines, like because so if someone's new to this and they're like, what the hell is she talking about? What do you mean by timeline? So talk about that. And then I want to circle back to the plant medicine because it's really important. So can you talk about what a timeline is?
Yeah. Infinite possibilities, right? Like every decision we make, a timeline is formed. And we have mass timelines. We have multiple timelines for the new world order, where we lose all of our power, we are enslaved. And we have multiple timelines for the new earth and heaven on earth. And it's up to us with every decision we make to align with, there's more than one timeline for new earth, more than one for new world order, but you can choose between those two with every decision you make, every word you speak, every action you take. You're aligning with one or the other. One is sovereign, one is slavery. One is based on fear, one is based on love. Right. And so when we make a decision, new timelines form, right? New timelines form. So if I decide to flip somebody off or rip somebody, yell at them or something, that is a fearful separation timeline. That is not connection. And so that leads me a little denser experience, right? So everything is possible. And you and I are obviously going to similar timelines. We both have interest in heaven on earth and harmony and connection and love and all of that. But other people out there can be experiencing a whole different timeline. We can be standing next to them in the grocery store and their experience of the world is completely different. And nothing has to change out there. We're all aligning with the frequency that we are living. Does that help?
Yeah, it says a lot, and I love the way that you broke it down and I think a lot of people can resonate with that, that standing next to someone, two people standing next to each other and completely different perspectives and experiences, and those are the timelines. But what I love is like we are at choice. That's what I'm hearing you say, is we're at choice.
Yes. Always, we're at choice. It doesn't matter what's going on out there. One thing I learned from medicine is that the world doesn't need to change. The world is absolutely perfect. The experience on Mother Gaia, she holds this space where everything is possible. The densest, the darkest, whatever you want, the densest is possible, the lightest is possible. And everything belongs in this 3D world, and everyone gets to have their experience. I don't need to look at my neighbor over there who is living in density and go, he needs to change so I can have heaven on earth. No, he gets to have his experience as dense as he wants it. That's what he's here to do. Nothing wrong with that. It all belongs. And I get to be across the street creating my heaven on earth.
Yep.
Sovereignty.
It's so true. And then I'm going to say one thing, and then I'm going to go to the plant medicine piece is where do you, what I've seen is how people get tripped up. You've got your neighbor who's deciding to do one timeline, and then you're doing your new earth timeline. It's when when one is trying to be right over the other. That's the only like we see the crisscross of the timelines. But if we stay in our own lane, then it's fine.
Everybody right. He's right. He's right in his timeline. He is resonating at his experience, and I don't know what his soul path is, or his soul agenda is. I don't know that. You know, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. And honestly, I don't have any neighbors across the street. Nobody's here full time. I'm here full time because I created my heaven on earth. Everybody else is coming up on the weekends. So yeah.
There you go. Like, I created it. When they say you can create your reality, it's not new age jargon.
It's science. It's quantum physics. It's absolute science.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about plant medicine. So, before we started, I asked if we could talk about it because the times I've sat with ayahuasca myself, I've also sat with Bufo Toad. That's unbelievable in surrender. I learned surrender in a whole new way with that. But what ayahuasca did for me was I was able to see the workings of the universe in a way I hadn't before, and bring myself closer to myself in a way that like it was really healing on the relationship to the self. So what I'd love to hear about is like how you see it how it brought in deeper connection for yourself. And then part two of that question is the ignition of the Mary Magdalene codes. So there's two parts.
Yeah, Mother Mary codes.
Sorry,
not Mary Magdalene.
Okay, sorry, yeah. Mother Mary. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mother Mary.
Mother Mary codes.
Mary Magdalene, Jesus's wife. Mother Mary, Jesus's mother. So okay. I carry the Mother Mary codes. First of all, working with ayahuasca was, number one, the most healing experience I'd had. I cleared and healed trauma that I was not consciously aware of, trauma that had been suppressed. And in that, Mother Mary came to me. I was in Colombia, which is a very Catholic country, and Mother Mary is everywhere. And I've been connected to Mother Mary for many, many years. And I don't really like how they show her with all the different colors around her. It's depicting her aura, right? And it wasn't my thing, but in ayahuasca, she came to me with all those colors around her. And I was like, oh, and she steps out of the colors. She's like, I don't need all that. That's for them. Right. So she's very funny, very loving. But still very funny, right? Like everywhere we see Mother Mary pictures, it took me a while to find a good Mother Mary picture with her eyes open. Her eyes are open. She's not a demure little closed eyes, how you see her, right? She's not demure. She's freaking powerful. She understood the connection to the planet. She understood, I mean, she's very witchy, right? I mean, all of these women are very witchy. They know how to use the plants and the herbs from the earth. They know how to call in energies. She carried the light at Jesus, right? She carried the light within her womb. She was the portal for Jesus to come through, right? It was her DNA and her wisdom that could carry the high frequency. You think she, as a mortal being, that she could not be a high frequency intelligent and super connected being to be able to bring in the light that would be known as Jesus, right? So she was the portal way. And so she showed up for me in ayahuasca and just played a really big part in this who you are. And it just made so much sense because over the years working with clients, and they're always like, you're such a mother energy, you're such a mother energy. And I gave birth to my first child at 15 years old, and that's how old Mother Mary was when she birthed Jesus. And so that became very clear, and she just walked me through really healing all of those pieces and bringing this wisdom in. She's a perfect experience of being grounded in the 3D and manifesting the light through her. It is what we do as women.
I,
I get excited and
oh, I
passionate.
love it because my daughter just asked me the other day, why did God choose Mother Mary to be the mother of Jesus? And you just explained it to in a way I couldn't explain it. The like the portal and the light and the and and all of that. So when you receive that information and people receive downloads and information, and from my understanding is you got to get through the trauma first, right? Like she was
Yeah.
clear, the trauma to get to the authenticity of who you are. Um, can you speak into that, into how important it is just to weed through all of that so that you can access who you really
Yeah.
are?
You have to. You have to. It's that scary thing. And going to Colombia and sitting with ayahuasca was so freaking scary, right? And and then and I had done no other medicine ever. And I didn't even like experiment with drugs in high school. So surrendering to a substance in my body was really freaky. So there was that whole surrender and giving over. And yeah, the first thing I was faced with was trauma and darkness and fear um and my mentor and the shamans there were just supporting me and like this and it was reiterated to because I wanted bliss and joy, right? I wanted
Oh,
the light, I want the love and the light. Yeah, love and light, that's what I'm going for. I want to know the love and light. But the density that I got to go through to access that, there's no way around it. There's just no way around it. And over the time of working with plant medicines, I'm very much a shaman. too. I'm very much a shaman. Not that I've worked with shamans, but I have been given the message that it is for me to dive into the darkness, transmute the darkness. I have yet to have any journey that's just pure bliss and love and light. I get to go into the darkness, transmute it. I've transmuted darkness and nausea and fear into orgasmic bliss. But I did that. It wasn't like just throw me into orgasmic bliss. It's, on this planet, we're here for the density. We came here for the density, right, Beth? If we wanted just love and light, we would have never incarnated here. We were in love and light. It got boring. It's boring. It's just love and light. It's like living in Arizona all year round. It's sunshine, 360 days a year. It gets boring, right? It's like, I want to experience something else. And so we did. We came into 3D and we're like, I wonder what it'd feel like to have people hate me. Never had somebody hate me. Wonder what it'd feel like to have somebody want to kill me or kill me. Yeah, our soul's going, whoa, this is some good stuff. Couldn't do that in the love and light oneness stuff, right? And so we come here for the density, and we come here to forget who we truly are. We come here to disconnect from our creator. And another message that came through in medicine is like, the greater our forgetfulness, the more glorious our remembrance, right? It's like so much fun to like go, I feel the one, I am one. It doesn't matter if I don't make another dollar. It doesn't matter if I end up homeless. It's all for the experience, right? You really embody that and feel it. I get excited. I feel like I'm talking too long.
Oh my God, no, I'm no, you're not. I'm eating it up. But when you put it that way, like I'm here for the density, I'm here for the learning, I'm here for the richness. But let's say someone is, because you've done a lot of work on yourself, and I'm sure you have people in your mystery school. It's like, wait, they're here at like ground zero. So if someone's listening to this, they're going, well, how do I get out of the density? I don't even know how to get out of my anxiety. I don't know how to get out of worry. I am in debt, and that feels dense as hell. Like how would you speak to that? Like where to start? If especially someone who's like, I really want to learn and get out of this.
That's so juicy, right? Like it's in the getting out that holds us in. It's the desire that I want out that are the chains around our ankles.
I'm going to write that down. It's the getting out that, what'd you say?
That holds us in. Yeah. That traps us. The desire to get out of the experience traps us in the experience. So it's full on approval of the experience. Like, and recognizing it's working with the shadow, right? And working with and the shadow is the unconscious. And there's an axiom that I'm learning. I'm doing a training in existential kink, which is the most brilliant shadow work I have ever seen. And I was just like, oh, yes, I've got to get this. The first axiom of existential kink is that having is evidence of wanting. Therefore, whatever experience you are having means at some level, shadow level, the unconscious level, you want that experience.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. You want that experience. It's exactly what you want. So if you're in debt and you're hating being in debt, it's acknowledging that there's an aspect of you that actually loves being in debt, loves the limitation, loves the, and really getting into that and actually finding some hotness and even sexual pleasure in it, because we get sensations in our body and we go, oh, I don't want to feel that fear. But beneath the fear is like, ooh, this is so sensational. I can feel this in my body. I'm in debt, and there's so much shame around that, and what a bad person I am. And we can't possibly be bad people, but because we are one with the divine. But we came here to have the experience of what it would be to be bad. And here I am having this experience of being bad and then acting like I don't want it anymore. So it's like really going into that approval of like, I am so bad with money. I was discussing this with a client yesterday, right? It's like, so I try to be good with money, but I'm bad with money. I'm like, oh, you love being bad, don't you? Right? Like, oh, I'm so bad. And plus, then there's the judgment around it too. Who
Oh, yeah.
says you're bad? Right? I like spending money. Is that really bad? I mean, that's energy flowing through me. Is that really bad? I love having the resources and buying experiences and buying things. And then I feel so good when I'm being bad. So it's just turning it all around and being sovereign and being non-resistant to all of it. When you want to get out of an experience, you're deeply in resistance.
I just love that so much. Like, it's true because we wouldn't create it if there wasn't a part of yourself. I always talk about it as the unconscious no. Okay, you're saying you want to be in a relationship, but you're not, right? Like people who are, I'm looking, I can't find. Well, what's the unconscious no? Or with the debt, what's your
Yeah.
unconscious yes to the debt, right?
Yeah.
And I like
Mm-hmm.
that you're putting it like there's a place in you that is getting off on it. Maybe people
Yeah.
feel sorry for you or whatever the case may be,
Yes.
the
Mm-hmm.
self-pity junkie kind of thing. And oh yeah, that's so good. And then what you're saying is you surrender to it, then you have that open
Yeah.
out.
And you even celebrate it because the truth is, fulfillment is the only real thing. Deprivation is an illusion. We are always in fulfillment. I'm either fulfilling my conscious desires, my unconscious desires, but no matter what, I'm fulfilling all of my desires.
So
And that's empowering, right? It's like, oh, because in the love and light and in the law of attraction, it's like, oh, I didn't manifest what I wanted. No, you actually did. You manifested exactly what you really wanted. So you're never in a spot of, I can't manifest. You're always just manifesting. It's recognizing that we are constantly in fulfillment. We are constantly creating exactly what we want, and then playing the game. It's like, oh, okay, well, this is what I manifested. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to get to know that part of me and celebrate her. Celebrate her. And we celebrate, woohoo! Right? God, I'm experiencing lack and limitation, which I could never experience in my oneness. I'm experiencing lack and limitation, and it's so glorious and celebrating that instead of rejecting it. And people will always ask, well, okay, how many times do I have to celebrate it for it to go away? You're not really celebrating it, right? It's really knowing that your soul doesn't care. It's your humanness that wants to have an ideal experience, that only wants to experience the love and light. That's your humanness. Your soul is open to all experiences and is fulfilled by all experiences.
and when you can, it's not from what I'm hearing you saying, when you can get that, that's where you can whatever. But if you're like, okay, I get it now, I'm ready, I get it. But then if you're in the doing instead of feeling it, surrendering to it, really feel, and then you can like, okay, maybe I'm ready for a new experience, and
Yeah,
moving.
exactly.
It's so good. It's so good, and it
And
takes
it's
shame out.
you take shame out, and that's the big thing, right? It's releasing the stories that we make up about us, about ourselves, right? Like, oh, I didn't manifest that, I must not be feel myself worthy enough, or I don't love myself enough, or the universe doesn't see me as worthy. It's all these stories we make up, and it's all just bullshit. It is what we're resonating out. Are we more strongly resonating our unconscious desires, or are we more strongly resonating with our conscious desires? And usually if we're not creating what we consciously want, then obviously we're resonating more strongly with our unconscious desires. And so allowing those to be fulfilled without shame, right? Because it can be shameful
Mm, absolutely.
in, it's like, oh, I shouldn't want that. You get to want it. And so it brings in radical approval of myself, radical approval of my neighbor, right? That's the timelines. Oh, I approve of the limitation my neighbor wants to live in, and his fear or whatever he's saying, right? And I can approve of my experience too. It's being free of all judgment, all things belong. And then that goes within us, all things belong. Oh, my shadow, that experience loves experiencing lack and limitation. Oh, I just love her. Oh,
Mm.
lack and limitation means I don't have to make big, major decisions. Whatever it is, it gives us a sense of freedom and control in some way.
And it is. Like it's like
Mm-hmm.
that limitless self-love that you're talking about and acceptance. It's really
Mm-hmm.
so okay, we're going to be wrapping up in a minute, but I really actually, if you're watching this, I recommend going back and listening to this again because we went fast and Michelle said a lot of things, but she said a lot of things. um I'm going to use the word code of really like giving real codes on how to connect to yourself and being mindful of your experience without it's just, I would really recommend going back and listening to it because you were channeling some really, really powerful information. So tell us, okay, before we talk about your free gift, tell us anything that you're working on, anything you want to leave us with.
Yes, we are, we're so passionate about the medicine. And so we are taking a small group of people, we work with very small, intimate groups, to Colombia in July. We're half full already. We have 4 more spaces open to go to Colombia and sit with grandmother ayahuasca 4 times. And not only do you get the journey there and the medicine journeys, you get me and Megan's support for a month before, preparing your body, mind, and spirit with lots of trainings by our mentor, Marcy Locke,
Mm.
and with live support from us. And then for 2 months afterwards, we support you in integrating, because it doesn't mean much if you go there and you have these amazing experiences only to come back to your old life where it feels dense and you don't know how to bring these codes in
Yeah.
and raise the vibration of your current life. That's the most important. So we support you in the integration and reintegrating into your world to raise the vibration of your world. Also, I do private medicine journeys. So if you're someone who wants to work with plant medicines one-on-one, I do that. And it's again, you get the support before in preparation, you get the integration afterwards, and you get the one-on-one. I'm like right here with you to support you with whatever is coming up, what is coming through you, and to know that you're supported and you're accessing all of it. And so that's what we're so alive in now. We absolutely love the plant medicines.
Thank you. It's very, very powerful work, and the integration piece is big. I've actually seen a few clients after they've come out of ayahuasca, and because they weren't supported in the integration. So I'm like, okay,
No.
we're in the pickup, Pete, like in the pickup of it, so the fact that you have the integration after is huge, huge, because it's not
Yeah.
just like you said about that experience, the learning and the raising, like you said, the vibration in the day to day and the 3D is massive. Um, so her information will be on her speaker page so that you can find it and reach out to her if you're feeling called. And then tell us about your free gift.
My free gift is it's a declarative prayer, and I think I called it the connection with your higher self or something like that. But it's a prayer I've been using over the years, but coming back from medicine, it got a whole revamp, right? And if you say this prayer, and we've created a PDF, it is so beautiful for you just to print out, have it on your altar, have it next to your bed. And it's the divinely aware prayer. And the first line is, I am divinely aware. With perfect clarity, I am aware of divine truth. And then it goes into, I know divine truth. With perfect clarity, I know divine truth. I see with the eyes of the divine. With perfect clarity, I see divine truth. I see what others don't see. And it goes through. And the point is, number one, what we need now more than ever is discernment. And so that's what this prayer is about, is like, I see the divine truth. No matter, I hear what's not being said, because I hear divine truth. And with this prayer, what happens is you increase all of your psychic abilities, number one. You increase your ability to love unconditionally, because in there is, I love with the heart of the divine, unabashedly, freely, generously, right? With perfect clarity, I take divine action in a way that serves all. It's a beautiful, beautiful prayer. And it's not, and I wish I had a better word for prayer, right? But it's a declaration. This is who I am. This is how I show up in the world. And then you emanate that energy, and it shifts your experience. And so increased love, increased discernment, increased psychic abilities, all in there. And it's on a beautiful PDF to print out, so you have it. And if you love Mother Mary, I actually rewrote the Mother Mary prayer that you use with the beads. I rewrote it with her guidance, because she's like, yeah, right? It's so patriarchal, and it doesn't honor who she is as the divine being she was in physical form and continues to be. So I rewrote her prayer too. And if you're interested in having that, you can email me. I'm sure you'll have the links in there. You'll have the link to my website. You can reach out to me and say, hey, I want Mother Mary's prayer.
Powerful. It's so beautiful. I'm going to look at the prayer myself and say it. So thank you, Michelle. You were on fire today. I've interviewed you a couple times, and I'm like, wow, I love this. This is amazing. It's like you're lit up. It's like all cylinders are firing, and
Yeah.
that's my experience. And it feels like you are like, I'm here now, I'm home now, and your prayer is all about connection. Like this summit's about connection, the prayer is about connection, and then it's obvious that you are like connected to all. You're tapped in, turned on, and it's been awesome talking to you. Thank you so much.
Beth, it's always my honor and pleasure. Thank you so much for including me. I love the work you're doing, and thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for being with us again. I recommend that you rewatch this over again and really soak in what she was saying. Take her up on her prayer, reach out to her if you're interested in doing a private journey or even Columbia. And my name is Beth Osmer, and we'll see you on the next, I guess, episode of Codes of Connection.